So, um, your brain weighs barely 3 pounds. It's this, relatively tiny, squishy organ,
Hmm.
yet it operates like a biological furnace.
Oh, absolutely. A very demanding furnace.
Right. I mean, it burns through a fifth of every single calorie you consume just to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
But uh, what happens when you're feeding that ravenous furnace the absolute wrong fuel?
Well, the system starts to struggle.
Yeah, and we've all been there. Like, have you ever walked into a room with total purpose only to cross the threshold and completely forget why you were there?
Oh, definitely. All the time.
You just stand there, staring blankly at a bookshelf, or maybe you're reading a critical document and you suddenly realize you scanned the exact same paragraph 4 times and absorbed 0 information.
Yeah, and for anyone experiencing that in real time, it feels incredibly alarming. You are essentially wading through mental molasses.
Mental molasses, that's a great way to put it.
It's like trying to force a complex machine to work without its gears catching.
It is deeply frustrating. And most people just shrug off this whole collection of symptoms as brain fog. It leaves you feeling mentally sluggish, forgetful, and honestly incapable of doing your best work.
Right, it really degrades your baseline performance.
Exactly. So today we're pulling from a really compelling article. It's titled The Ultimate Natural Cure for Brain Fog, Testing Moringa Magic. And the mission of this deep dive is to explore the actual physical science behind this mental haze.
Which is so needed, honestly.
It is. We want to decode what your brain physically requires to function at its peak. And we're going to examine whether plant-based nutrition, specifically focusing on moringa, is a genuine biological solution, or if it's just, the latest internet health hype. Okay, let's unpack this.
I love that. And, for you listening, someone who is constantly learning, absorbing new data, and just needing to stay sharp mental clarity is essentially your ultimate currency.
Oh, 100%.
Right, because if you cannot focus, you cannot process, and your performance just plummets. So understanding the mechanical reasons why your brain suddenly decides to throttle its own processing power is highly relevant to how you navigate your daily life.
So true. And the article points out immediately that brain fog isn't a recognized medical disease. Like you don't go to a clinic and get a blood test that says, positive for brain fog.
Right, there's no diagnostic code for it.
Exactly. It's a descriptive umbrella term for a cluster of symptoms.
Yeah.
We're talking about poor memory, lack of clarity, slow thinking, trouble finding words mid-sentence, and just a baseline lack of motivation.
And while it isn't a disease, it functions as a glaring warning light on your biological dashboard.
A check engine light, basically.
Exactly. It is a signal that your brain is being starved of the support it needs to operate its basic infrastructure. And when we dive into the mechanics of this, well, there is a specific metric from the source material that frames the entire issue perfectly. It is the 220 rule.
Ah, the 220 rule. Let's break that down.
So your brain is a remarkably compact organ, making up roughly 2% of your total body weight.
Just 2%.
Just 2%. However, because it is the most metabolically demanding organ in your body, it devours approximately 20% of your daily energy, 2% of the mass, 20% of the fuel supply.
That ratio is wild. I mean, it's like having a tiny, high-performance sports car engine crammed into the chassis of a sensible, compact car.
That's a perfect analogy, yeah.
The engine is incredibly powerful, but it is absolutely ravenous. Like, if you don't give it premium fuel, it's going to sputter.
Yeah.
The timing gets off, the gears grind, and the whole vehicle drags.
So, mechanically speaking, what is that engine doing with all that fuel? Like, why does sitting at a desk thinking require a fifth of our total energy?
Well, thinking is an incredibly labor-intensive physical process at the cellular level. That continuous, massive supply of energy is being utilized for a multitude of vital tasks. First and foremost, your brain is constantly manufacturing neurotransmitters.
Okay, the chemical messengers. Exactly. These are the messengers that cross the tiny gaps between your brain cells, allowing them to communicate. No energy means no messengers.
Which perfectly explains the symptom of losing a word mid-sentence. The signal is literally dropping out because the messenger just wasn't manufactured.
The connection just fails. And beyond that, the energy is used to actively build and maintain the lipid membranes of your brain cells.
Wow, okay.
It also powers the intense blood circulation required to keep the brain tissue oxygenated, and it fuels the constant repair of damaged tissues. I mean, your brain is a construction site that never sleeps.
Never sleeps. Why?
So when the necessary nutrient intake drops, the engine's efficiency doesn't just stop instantly. Your cognitive performance slowly degrades, which we subjectively experience as that cloudy brain fog.
Okay, that makes total sense, but it brings up a major logical pushback.
Let's hear it.
If our brains simply need fuel to keep this sports car engine running, and modern diets are, overflowing with fuel, I mean, we are surrounded by calorie-dense food, why are so many people running on empty?
It's a great question.
Right. We're consuming more calories than any generation in history, yet we are collectively walking around in a mental haze.
So the source material addresses this paradox with a brilliant term. They call it hidden hunger.
Hidden hunger, okay.
Yes, we are consuming an abundance of calories, primarily through heavily processed carbohydrates and industrial fats, but we are severely lacking in the essential micronutrients required to actually process those calories.
So we're overfed but undernourished.
We are fundamentally overfed yet deeply undernourished.
Wow. So your stomach is completely full, signaling to your body that you've eaten, but your brain is essentially starving on a cellular level.
Precisely. A diet dominated by convenience foods might provide the sheer caloric volume to keep you walking around, but it completely lacks the specific molecular building blocks the brain needs to perform all that heavy lifting.
Which catches up with you eventually.
It does. Unlike a severe acute vitamin deficiency like scurvy, these mild nutrient gaps develop very insidiously. Over months and years, your baseline concentration just slips, your mood destabilizes, and your mental endurance kind of just evaporates.
So if our modern diet is leaving us with this hidden hunger, what exactly is the brain crying out for? Like if we could look at the brain's ideal menu, what are the specific micronutrients we are failing to provide?
Well, it comes down to a few major players, starting with the B vitamin family.
Okay, the B vitamins.
This includes B1, B2, B3, B6, folate, and B12. We often hear they give you energy, but the mechanism is fascinating.
How does it actually work?
B vitamins act as essential coenzymes within your mitochondria, the power plants of your cells. They literally help operate the metabolic assembly line that snaps together molecules of ATP, which is the raw energy currency of your brain.
And without them?
Without sufficient B vitamins, that assembly line halts. The cells cannot metabolize your food into usable energy, pretty much guaranteeing mental fatigue.
So they are the literal spark plugs for the mitochondrial engine. I love that. What else is on the essential menu?
Iron is another critical component. People usually associate iron exclusively with blood health, but it is intrinsically linked to brain function because of oxygen transport.
Oh, tying back to the 220 rule.
Exactly. Going back to the 220 rule, an organ burning 20% of your energy requires a massive, uninterrupted flow of oxygen to fuel that mitochondrial combustion.
That makes total sense.
If your iron levels are suboptimal, your blood's ability to carry oxygen dips. The result is a brain struggling to breathe, leading to poor focus and zero mental endurance.
Got it. And I know the article mentions magnesium, which feels like it's finally getting the spotlight it deserves in health circles, right?
Oh, magnesium is huge. It's involved in hundreds of distinct biochemical reactions throughout the human body. In the brain, it regulates nerve signaling, preventing neurons from becoming overstimulated.
It kind of chills them out.
Basically, yeah. Crucially, it is the master nutrient for muscle relaxation, managing the body's stress response and facilitating deep sleep.
Which is so important for the brain.
Right. Since poor sleep and chronic stress are the biggest amplifiers of brain fog, magnesium acts as the great physiological calmer of the nervous system.
Which leads us to perhaps the most complex item on the menu, antioxidants. Things like vitamin C, vitamin E, polyphenols, and flavonoids.
Yes, and what's fascinating here is the direct relationship between the brain's massive energy consumption and its desperate need for antioxidants.
How are they connected?
Because the brain's metabolic engine runs so hot and so fast, it produces a staggering amount of cellular exhaust. In biology, this exhaust comes in the form of free radicals.
Okay, let's pause and really break down free radicals because, the term gets thrown around in skincare ads a lot, but what is it really? A free radical is essentially an unstable molecule that is missing an electron, right?
That is the exact mechanism. And because it is missing an electron, it becomes highly reactive and aggressively seeks to steal an electron from the nearest healthy structure.
Oh, so it's a thief.
A total thief. In the brain, they often steal from the delicate lipid membranes of your brain cells, a process called lipid peroxidation. Imagine microscopic rust slowly eating away at the wiring of your sports car engine. That is oxidative stress.
Wow. Okay. So the harder the brain works, the more free radicals it spits out and the more rust accumulates. Where do antioxidants fit into this chemical warfare?
So antioxidants are molecules that are stable enough to generously donate an electron to a free radical without becoming unstable
Oh,
themselves.
nice. They just give it away.
Exactly. They neutralize the threat before the free radical can tear apart a brain cell membrane.
Wow.
Without a constant, massive influx of antioxidants from your diet, that oxidative stress slowly degrades the physical structure of your neural networks, manifesting daily as brain fog and contributing to long-term cognitive decline.
Okay, so the science is incredibly clear. If we just eat a pristine, perfect diet of dark leafy greens, seeds, nuts, and a massive variety of vibrant vegetables every single day, we give the brain all the coenzymes, iron, and antioxidants it needs to avoid hidden hunger. Problem solved, right?
I mean, in a purely theoretical world, a perfectly balanced whole food diet provides a phenomenal array of these nutrients, absolutely.
But let's live in reality for a second. We have back-to-back meetings, brutal commutes, kids to pick up, and just a general time poverty that dictates our choices.
Life gets in the way.
It really does. For most of us, busy schedules lead directly to grabbing a processed bagel on the way to work, tearing open a vending machine snack at 3 p.m.,
Yeah.
or chugging a heavily caffeinated energy drink just to survive the afternoon.
Which doesn't provide any of those building blocks.
Right. Even people with the best intentions often fail to consistently consume enough nutrient-dense plants to hit those high biological targets. The gap between what the brain demands and what we actually feed it is massive.
Which is the primary reason why so many people are turning to concentrated, plant-based nutritional support to bridge that hidden hunger gap.
And that introduces the specific subject of the article's exploration, Moringa oleifera. It has been used traditionally for centuries and is frequently marketed as the miracle tree.
Yeah, and researchers have found that nearly every part of the moringa plant contains nutritional value, but the leaves in particular are a biological anomaly in terms of nutrient density.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The sheer concentration of nutrients packed into moringa leaves is staggering. Like, it naturally contains almost the entire essential menu we just outlined.
It really
It
does.
boasts the B vitamins for the mitochondria, the iron for oxygen transport, essential amino acids, those vital antioxidants to fight the cellular rust, plus plant polyphenols and chlorophyll. It's essentially a highly bioavailable multivitamin that grew straight out of the dirt.
It's incredibly potent.
But, I need to push back hard here for you listening. We are relentlessly bombarded with superfood marketing. Acai, goji berries, maca root. Every year, there is a new miracle powder.
That's very true.
And frankly, why should someone take a moringa supplement instead of just eating a massive bowl of spinach or broccoli? Furthermore, is a supplement like Moringa Magic from the article just another synthetic energy booster disguised as a plant?
Those are crucial distinctions to make. First, regarding spinach or broccoli, while those are excellent foods, moringa leaves possess a uniquely dense nutritional profile.
Okay, so it's more concentrated.
Yes, and the bioavailability, meaning how easily your body can absorb and utilize the nutrients, is exceptionally high in moringa. You would have to consume an impractical volume of standard vegetables to match the specific combination of amino acids, antioxidants, and minerals found in a concentrated dose of moringa.
Okay, so it's about getting a therapeutic dose of these specific building blocks without having to graze on salads for 6 hours a day.
Right, nobody has time for that.
Exactly. And what about the stimulant angle?
Based on the analysis of Moringa Magic in the source material, it is entirely non-stimulant. Many popular energy supplements rely on massive doses of synthetic caffeine or taurine to force your central nervous system awake.
Which feels terrible.
It gives you the jitters, followed by a crushing crash, and worse, it does nothing to solve hidden hunger. It's like whipping a starving horse. It might run faster for a minute, but it's still starving.
You aren't fixing the rusted engine, you're just pushing the gas pedal harder.
Exactly. The physiological goal of a product like Moringa Magic is to deliver the raw nutritional benefits of the plant to fill those exact dietary gaps.
Just giving the body what it needs.
Right. It provides the literal structural materials, the antioxidants, the iron, the B vitamins, so your brain can produce its own sustainable energy naturally. It supports natural vitality and digestive wellness by addressing the root molecular cause of the fatigue.
It's providing the lumber and the nails so the brain can do its own construction work. I like that. But let's establish some boundaries here. As incredible as a nutrient-dense plant like moringa is, no one should walk away thinking they can sleep 3 hours a night, eat fast food, pop a moringa supplement, and instantly possess the mental clarity of a supercomputer.
Definitely not. If we connect this to the bigger picture, biological health is never about a single, isolated, quick fix. Your brain continually rebuilds its physical structure based on the materials available, but it requires an entire holistic ecosystem to process those materials.
It's all connected.
Yes, Moringa Magic might be the top-tier premium motor oil for our sports car engine, but the engine still operates within a larger system.
So let's explore that ecosystem. The article outlines several other pillars of clarity, starting with sleep. And this isn't just about feeling rested, right? There's an actual mechanical process happening in the brain at night.
A profound mechanical process. During deep sleep, the brain activates the glymphatic system. You can think of it as a specialized plumbing network that only opens up when you are unconscious.
Oh, wow.
It flushes cerebrospinal fluid through the brain tissue, literally washing away the metabolic waste and amyloid beta plaques that accumulated during the day's heavy cognitive lifting.
So if you cut your sleep short, the janitorial fluid doesn't get enough time to wash away the toxic exhaust, and you wake up trying to think through a literal biological trash heap.
Precisely why poor sleep is the fastest route to brain fog, regardless of your diet. Next in that ecosystem is stress management. Chronic, unmanaged stress traps your body in a low-grade fight-or-flight state, which continually bathes your brain in the hormone cortisol.
And cortisol has a physical impact on the brain's architecture, doesn't it?
It does. Sustained high levels of cortisol actively inhibit the hippocampus, which is the brain's memory center. It prevents the consolidation of new memories and physically disrupts your ability to focus.
So you really can't think straight when you're stressed.
You literally can't. Mitigating that stress, whether through targeted breathing, meditation, or just disconnecting from screens, is a biological necessity to lower cortisol and allow the hippocampus to function.
The source also highlights hydration and exercise, which, sounds like basic health class advice, but we are talking about high-performance biology here.
Absolutely. Water is the fundamental medium in which all the biochemical reactions we discussed take place. ATP synthesis, neurotransmitter transport, flushing out free radicals, it all requires optimal hydration.
So even a little dehydration is bad.
Even a 2% drop in hydration, a level where you barely feel thirsty, measurably slows cognitive reaction times.
Wow, okay. And exercise.
Exercise mechanically forces vascular dilation. When you move, you dramatically increase blood flow to the brain, which means you are delivering a higher volume of that oxygen and those moringa nutrients directly to the brain tissues.
So you don't have to run a marathon.
The source notes you don't have to train like an Olympian. A brisk daily walk physically alters the blood flow dynamics to support mental flexibility.
Fantastic. Finally, the article mentions a dietary principle, eat the rainbow, which is a simple way of ensuring diverse antioxidant coverage, right?
Exactly. Different pigments in plant foods represent different families of phytonutrients and antioxidants. The anthocyanins in blueberries fight different free radicals than the lycopene in tomatoes or the beta-carotene in carrots. Eating a visually colorful plate guarantees a wide, diverse spectrum of cellular protection.
So for the listener who knows their reality involves convenience meals and high stress, a plant-based support like Moringa Magic seems to fit perfectly as a foundational layer in this broader lifestyle. It acts as biological insurance against hidden hunger while you work on the hydration and the sleep.
It is a powerful tool in the toolkit for sure. However, the source material emphasizes a vital medical caveat.
Let's hear it.
Brain fog is usually a lifestyle signal, but it rarely has a single isolated cause. If you diligently improve your nutrition, optimize your sleep, and manage your stress, but your mental haze remains severe, persistent, or is accompanied by other physical symptoms, it is imperative to consult a healthcare professional.
Absolutely. Because brain fog can be a secondary symptom of deeper underlying conditions, thyroid imbalances, autoimmune disorders, or systemic infections. No nutritional supplement is designed to diagnose or replace targeted medical treatment.
Right. Plant-based nutrition reinforces the structural foundation of your health, but it is not a substitute for addressing clinical pathology.
Exactly. So what does this all mean? It means that experiencing a persistent mental haze is not a permanent life sentence, nor is it a personal failing. It is your body's check engine light illuminating on the dashboard.
A call to action.
Yes. It is a biological alert that your high-performance engine is starved of premium fuel, bogged down by oxidative rust, or suffocating from a lack of sleep. By nourishing your brain naturally, by targeting that hidden hunger with comprehensive plant-based nutrition like moringa and supporting it with the mechanics of sleep and stress management, you are adopting a highly sustainable, scientifically backed strategy for lifelong cognitive clarity.
You are consciously deciding to provide your biology with the exact molecular raw materials it requires to repair, protect, and optimize itself.
And that leads us to a final, slightly provocative thought for you to take away today. We learned today that your brain physically rebuilds its own architecture using the literal molecules you provide it, which means the cell membranes, the neurotransmitters, the physical structure of your mind today was quite literally constructed from the meals you digested last week. If you truly are what you eat, what kind of thoughts is your current diet building?
That is a fascinating reality to consider next time you sit down to eat.
Keep feeding that engine premium fuel and keep learning. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.